I grew up in the Bronx. It seemed like paradise. You could go to school free, your parents could make a living. You felt that no dream was unavailable. I really believed that I could do anything I wished. And because I believed it, I did anything I wished. I felt suspended between the world of design and the world of illustration. At that time, they were clearly divided. I also didn't feel that I had to pick one. Pushpin came about because a bunch of guys from Cooper Union said, hey, why don't we make a studio? We didn't have any idea what that meant. At first, it was modest, and then it began to get popular. And then it began to become influential. We were not obsessed with modernism. We didn't have to be bound by what was going on in the field around us. You know, how many red circles and red boxes can you make? We began to hire other people came into the studio and out of the studio, and at one point, Seymour and I were the only one left who could afford to work for so little money. We were earning virtually nothing. We ran it for about 20 years, and I realized that I didn't want to feel that I had to now work in the way that Pushpin worked. And I started another way of working. I've designed a lot of things, from supermarkets to play parks to restaurants. I've done about 500 posters. And when I got them all together, I looked, there's so many lousy ones. I said, oh, Jesus, how did I ever do that? And you have to do a lot of bad work, because you have to be willing to take chances and not do what is expected of you. I worked a lot for the old Esquire when Clay Felker was the editor. We became partners and started New York Magazine here in this building. It was sort of the alternative to the New Yorker. It was aimed at a class of interest rather than a class of money. The city was desperate. There was a sense of despair and sadness. There really was a need for people to express their affection for the city. The Assistant Commissioner of Commerce walked in. They had developed a tagline, I love New York, and they needed a visualization for it. So I did something, and he got it approved. 2 days later, I called him and I said, you know, there's a better way of doing that. He said, don't bug me, it's done. I said, let me show you this. That's how it happened. I thought it was one of those jobs you just turn over in an afternoon. Strangely enough, it worked. It was a real expression of people's feelings. They wanted to say, this is my home, I'm not going to leave. Once it started, it just spread all over the world. Things become iconic for reasons that you don't know. It's not intellectual, I mean, it's all emotional. The most significant things are not verbal, they're not narrative, they're something else. They are in the realm of feeling, expression, and art. It's one of the reasons that the design profession is worthwhile. Every once in a while, you really get an opportunity to make things better than they were before.